chains of liberation. In the harsh and cold realms of Nordic mythology, where gods, giants, and mystical creatures roamed with boundless might, there lived a slave, Einar, famed not for his power, but for his undeterred spirit. Einar, a mere mortal, was enslaved by a ruthless giant, Jarl, who was feared by all beings in the realm, both divine and earthly. Laboring in the desolate mines, hunting formidable beasts for the giant, and enduring the relentless, bitter cold, Einar's every movement was shadowed by the sinister whisper of unseen, magical chains. These were no ordinary bonds, but cruel artifacts forged by evil elves, entwining Einar not just in physical servitude, but in a spectral leash of oppression. These mystical chains, invisible to the eye, yet keenly felt by Einar's spirit, allowed Jarl to know his location at every moment. The sinister magic within them wove a tether to Einar's very soul, warning Jarl if his slave strayed too far into the realms of rebellion or escape. If Einar dared to wander beyond the boundaries dictated by the giant, the chains would constrict around his heart, promising a slow, agonizing demise as punishment for his defiance. Yet, amidst the pain and suffering, Einar's spirit remained unbroken, his eyes always gleaming with an insatiable fire of freedom. His chains were both his prison and his catalyst, the constant reminder of his oppression, fueling his unyielding resolve to shatter them forever. One night, as Einar lay shackled, his skin kissed by the chill of the frozen ground, he gazed up at the moon, its pale light whispering ancient tales of gods and warriors. The mystical chains entwined with his being sent spasms of pain through his heart and mind, a constant reminder of his bound fate and Jarl's sinister control. He recalled the story of Kratos, a warrior from another realm who defied gods and changed his fate through sheer will and relentless battle. Inspired, Einar made a vow beneath the moonlit sky. He would dismantle the chains that bound him, or perish in the attempt. Days turned into months, and Einar, fueled by his newfound resolve, began to plot. He observed the patterns of the giants, studied the weaknesses of the creatures, and, in secret, began honing his strength and skills. Every blow struck in the mine sharpened his might. Every stealthy hunt in the woods enhanced his agility, and every endured suffering fortified his resilience. In the shadows of his servitude, Einar discovered an ancient artifact, whispered in legends to possess the power to subdue giants. It was the dagger of Valeria, lost in tales and enveloped in the mysteries of the gods. Hidden amidst the historical fabric was a tale that spoke of the dagger's origin, crafted with meticulous skill and vengeful intent by the revered king of the dwarves. The king, an ingenious and courageous ruler, forged the dagger with the intent to slay a brutal giant that had long oppressed his kingdom. Yet, before the blade could taste the blood of its intended victim, a betrayal most foul unfolded. The king was betrayed by a trusted human friend, whose loyalty was swayed by the tempting offerings of the giant. The treacherous friend disclosed the king's plans, and, with his intentions laid bare, the king was forced to act shrewdly. Instead of wielding the dagger in open rebellion, he concealed it within the treacherous depths of old mines, entombing it amidst stone and darkness, safeguarded from the hands of the giant and his deceitful ally. With the dagger, the king left behind a letter, its words intricately encoded, revealing the location to those deemed worthy, to those who could decipher the weighty words of a betrayed heart. Einar, formidable warrior beneath his worn and chained exterior sought the dagger with a fervor that terrified even the beasts of the wild. His journey was not simply a quest for a weapon, but a pilgrimage to retrieve a symbol of resistance, of defiance against tyranny and betrayal. The spectral chains attempted to hinder him, yet Einar's determination, fueled by the sorrowful tale of the Dwarf King, led him undeterred through the mines, deciphering the code, and finally clenching the dagger of Valeria in his resilient grasp. The day of reckoning dawned, and with the power of the gods in his hand and the spirit of a warrior within, Einar confronted Jarl. A battle of epic proportions unfolded, where the mere mortal, armed with nothing but a small blade and an unbreakable will, stood against a giant, a being of inconceivable might. Einar, recalling the spirit of Kratos and all the warriors who defied their fate, fought with a ferocity that tore through the heavens. His chains, once symbols of his oppression, now clanged loudly in his mind as symbols of his rebellion, his undying flame of resistance. Against all odds, Einar demonstrated not only his unmatched bravery, but also a cunning intellect that rivaled the gods themselves. He crafted a mighty arrow, attaching the dagger of Valeria to it, with bindings steeped in the potent spells of old lore, ensuring that its mystical properties would remain intact upon release. With a bow carved from the bones of beasts he'd conquered and strung with the hair of mythical creatures, Einar aimed at the single vulnerable point of the giant, his eye. The arrow, propelled with the vengeance of the oppressed and the desperate hope of the enslaved, soared through the frost-bitten air, finding its mark and piercing through Jarl's eye, burrowing deep into the malicious mind behind countless atrocities. Jarl, the mighty giant, crumbled to his knees, his colossal body quaking the very earth upon which they battled. The mystical chains that had tortured Einar shattered, their magical grip dissipating along with the life force of the giant that had enslaved him for what seemed an eternity. Einar, now free, stood amidst the ruins, his body scarred, yet his spirit triumphant and unblemished. He had defied the gods, the giants, and the fate scripted for him, demonstrating that even within the shackles of oppression, the persistence of spirit could carve paths to unimaginable victories. His story echoed through the realms, reaching the ears of gods and mortals alike, not as a tale of a slave, but as a saga of a warrior who, in his pursuit of freedom, became a legend, immortalized in the annals of time. And so, Einar roamed the realms, his tale of persistence and liberation igniting the flames of rebellion and hope in the hearts of those enchained, proving that no bond, neither of gods nor giants, could subdue a spirit truly free. And in the echoes of his legend, the whisper of Kratos' own story intertwined. Two warriors from different worlds, bound by a shared defiance against fate, gods, and tyranny.